So I got a signal from Mr. Garamendi, and it is really a tribute because Mr. Farr is a dear friend, but also my neighboring congressional district representative, and he never misses an opportunity, whether he's at home or abroad, to bring up the topic of serving in the Peace Corps. And how fitting this evening, Mr. Farr, that you are here to add your words to and your stories to this celebration. So I'm going to yield the floor, if it's okay with Mr. Garamendi, right directly to you.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Lois Capps. I'm so fond of you and the service you give and your wonderful district, the Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo County coastlines. Yes, I was with Congressman Capps last week when we hosted in Surabaya a dinner with Peace Corps volunteers, and what struck me is, one, some of their assignments were much tougher than the one I had in Barrio in Medellin, Colombia back in the 60s. The women live with Muslim families because Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. They teach in schools. Very interesting how and essentially progressive even those Muslim schools were, allowing the American women not to have to be covered and to essentially be themselves and represent this country, and how fond the students are of their teachers and the faculty of the teachers. So Peace Corps was there, and it's interesting that we pay tribute on the 50th anniversary that there's no age limit to joining the Peace Corps. We're in I think 77 countries now. We're about half our full size. We want 15,000 volunteers. We're down to 7,000, growing. Congressman Garamendi and myself and others have been working to try to increase the Peace Corps budget because it's the only thing that's standing in way between more volunteers being in the sea in overseas. There's 20 countries that want Peace Corps. There's 20,000 people that apply to the Peace Corps. And there's only every year about half of 7,000, so about 3,500 jobs available. So only 1 in 3 or 4 ever can get a chance to get accepted. That's not fair, and we need to double the size of the Peace Corps. And lastly, on that point, is that it only costs 1/6 the amount of to send a soldier to, or let me get my figures right here. I think it's for every soldier we sent to Afghanistan, we could send 12 Peace Corps volunteers abroad. So we really get a good bang for our buck. And why I rise tonight and try to be quick before we give it back to Mr. Garamendi is to, on the behalf of all 4 of us who are returned Peace Corps volunteers now serving in Congress, we circulated a letter asking the President of the United States to issue a proclamation on honoring the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps. It was signed by 136 members of Congress, and today, on the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps, the President of the United States said the following. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy signed an executive order establishing the Peace Corps. Remember, executive order, it wasn't done by a congressional act, it was a presidential act. Establishing the Peace Corps, forever changing the way Americans see the world and the world sees us. Today, one of President Kennedy's most enduring legacies can be found in the over 200,000 current and returned Peace Corps volunteers who have collectively given over a half a century of service to the cause of peace. On its 50th anniversary, Peace Corps remains an enduring symbol for our nation's commitment to encouraging progress, creating opportunity, and fostering mutual respect and understanding throughout the world. Over the past 5 decades, Peace Corps volunteers have served in nearly 140 countries, bringing a wealth of practical assistance to those working to build better lives for themselves and their communities. From the first group of volunteers to arrive in Ghana and Tanzania in August of 1961, they have been emissaries of hope and goodwill to the far corners of the world, strengthening the ties of friendship between the people of the United States and those of other countries. Living and working alongside those they serve, volunteers help address challenging, complex global needs in education, health, HIV/AIDS, business and information technology, agriculture, environmental protection, and youth development. With each village that now has access to clean water, each young woman who has received an education, and each family empowered to prevent disease because of the service of a Peace Corps volunteer, President Kennedy's noble vision lives on. In our increasingly interconnected world, the mission of the Peace Corps is more relevant today than ever. Returned volunteers, enriched by their experiences overseas, bring a deeper understanding to other cultures and traditions back to their homes here in the United States. The lasting accomplishments of the Peace Corps continue to strengthen the partnerships with leaders in countries around the world. This year, we also mourn the loss and pay tribute to the extraordinary life of Sergeant Shriver, the founding director of the Peace Corps. The impact of his decades of public service will echo forever in countless places across the globe that have been touched by the Peace Corps. On this anniversary, we honor the men and women from across the country who have carried forward our nation's finest tradition of service, and we rededicate ourselves to fulfilling the dream and continuing the work of all those who aspire and yearn for peace. Now, therefore, I, Barack Obama, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and laws of the United States, do hereby claim March 1st, 2011 as the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps. I call upon all Americans to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities that honor the Peace Corps and its volunteers, past and present, for their many contributions to the cause of global peace and friendship. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand this 28th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2011, and on the of the independence of the United States of America, 235th, Barack Obama. So in that honor, I'm very pleased that my colleague and friend from California, John Garamendi, has asked us to pay tribute to the Peace Corps on this 50th anniversary, and I yield to my good colleague who had the wisdom to set up this moment of special order.
But Sam, if there was wisdom,